Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mitch. Normally, when I do my installs, I show you how to install my awesome window manager configuration file from my GitLab repository. So today, I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to show you how to copy the default awesome window manager into your home directory and how to modify it yourself. So, let's get to it. This is a virtual machine of Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And of course, it's the default awesome window manager. So the bar is on the top. On the top left, you have your workspaces. I know it's kind of small and it's hard to see. I hope you can see it. And the clock is over here. And it's saying it's 1957. It's on 24-hour time. And of course, you have this icon. And I hardly ever talk about this icon. So the awesome window manager is a dynamic window manager, and I use it for tiling. And this icon, it has about probably by default about 12 different types of tiling that available to use. And this icon takes you through all the tiling. So I have this icon turned off if you're using my configuration file. And the reason why is I have all the different modes of tiling turned off, and I only use one mode because I only like one mode. And because I have all those different modes of tiling turned off and I'm only using one mode, I got rid of the icon as well. And of course, if you're using my configuration file, the bar is on the bottom and so forth. So just to give you an example, now in the default Arch Linux awesome window manager, this menu here, the right click menu is bare bones. If you're using the default awesome window manager in Debian or Debian based distribution, this right click menu has all the apps in there, and it's interactive in the sense that if you download a new app, it's going to automatically go in the menu and all your apps are in here. This Arch one, like I said, it's bare bones. And if you download a new app, it's not going to go in there. You're going to have to put it in there yourself. It's not interactive. But the awesome window manager comes with its own bar menu in Debian, Arch Linux, or any of the distributions that you're using, and it's mod key P. So you hit mod key P and type in Firefox, hit enter, it's going to open up Firefox. If you hit mod key P, hit enter, type in PCManFM, because that's the file manager I have installed, it's going to open it up. Let's do mod key P. Well, you don't have to do that. Let's do mod key enter, and now we have our terminal. So this is the way the tiling manager works. Now this will take you through different modes. See that? But I have all these modes turned off in my configuration file, and that's why I also got rid of the icon, because it was a waste of space. It was a dead icon, so I didn't need it. So that's the way it works. And let's go back to the mode that I like. And I think I just accidentally turned off. Let's just turn off, shut down all my apps. Okay, there we go. So what you want to do is open up a terminal, and you want to type in this command, cd etc xdg awesome. And let's just do a pwd. So this is where we want to go. We want to go to etc xdg awesome. So that's where the default configuration file is. And I forgot to do something. Let's go into our .config folder, and let's make a folder called awesome in our home directory .config. So we're going to mkdir awesome. There we are. Now let's go back. Let's cd back into there. Let's clear the screen. Let's pwd. So there's where you want to go. That's where the default awesome window manager configuration file is, and we don't want to change it here, because if you do, next time awesome does an update, it's going to override your configuration file. So we're going to copy this to, we're going to copy rc lua to tilde dash slash, I should say, not dash, tilde slash period config awesome. Going to hit enter. Now there's another file we want to copy. So we're going to go back and we're going to go into this folder /usr/share/awesome themes default. And let's just clear the screen and pwd. So you want to go into here. Okay. User share awesome themes default. Let's ls it. And you want to copy this file right here, theme-lua. Okay. So we're going to do copy theme to tilde /config/awesome. Hit enter. Now let's cd. Let's clear the screen. Let's go into .config. Awesome. Let's ls it to make sure they're both there, and they are. Let's ll to make sure they're both owned by Mensch, and they are. So we're going to clear the screen. Now we're going to vim into RC Lua. So the first thing to notice is down here. See where it says on line 51 terminal? So my terminal that I use is Xterm. So if you have Alacrity or GNOME terminal or some other terminal, whatever terminal you're using, you want to put it right there. So Xterm, by the way, the Awesome Window Manager has Xterm in here by default. So when you download the Awesome Window Manager, if you don't have Xterm installed in your system, well, you're not going to be able to get into the terminal. Well, you can, it would be harder to get into it. So this is there by default. So if you're using, like I said, Alacrity, GNOME terminal, or some other terminal, whatever terminal you're using, you want to put it in there, okay? So next thing I want to show is the layouts. So these are all the layouts. So I have, now in the Awesome Window Manager, if you want to deactivate a line, instead of putting in the hashtag or the number sign, you're going to put 2 lines like you would right here. So these last 3 layouts, by default, they're deactivated. So you want to put 2 dashes in front of a line to deactivate it instead of the hashtag or the number sign. So in my configuration file, I deactivated all these lines, and the only one I left open or activated is this one here, line 65. I left that one activated, and I deactivated all those lines because I only like to use one mode of tiling. And after I did that, I got rid of this icon here because it was a dead icon. I didn't need it. Now, if you want to put some things into the menu, what you're going to do is, after this last terminal line, you're going to put a comma, and you're going to go down and put a bracket in, leave a space, put quotes, type in Firefox. Now the first Firefox is just a title that's going to be in your menu. You're going to put a comma, leave a space, and the second one, you can't use a capital because the second Firefox is the one that's actually going to open your app. And the way this menu works is that if you have to have the right command in here, and if you don't know the command, you can test it out by going into the terminal. So if you go into a terminal and type in Firefox, it'll open up Firefox. So if what you're typing in opens up your app in the terminal, it's going to work in here. You're going to leave a space, you're going to put a bracket in, and you're going to put a comma. Let's put in another one. Let's do PCman FM. That's my file manager. Oops, I forgot the quotes. Leave a space, quotes PCman FM. Leave a space, put a bracket in, and a comma. Now the very last one, you don't need a comma there. So let's leave the comma out, because I'm not going to put any more in here. Let's save it. Now, whenever you make a change to the configuration file, let's go to another workspace. You have to restart. So let's restart it. And let's go back to another workspace and let's see if it works. So we have Firefox here. There you go. We have PCman FM. And there you go, it works. Beautiful. Now, let's go back to our workspace and let's go down and do some more changes. I'm just making a few changes just to show you what I do and how to get started in case you don't want to use my configuration file for my GitLab repository. And by the way, if you want to download my configuration file from my GitLab repository, it's free for you to download. The command is in the show notes of every video. So for instance here, these are your 9 workspaces. Let's say you want to change the name. Let's change the name of the third one. So we're going to delete the 3. We're going to call it web. And we're going to use that for our web browsing. And we're going to save the file. I'm going to restart. And now you can see up here, the third one is called web. Let's go down. Now let's say we want to move this top bar to the bottom. So we're going to go here to line 201. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to delete the word top. I'm going to put the word bottom in. I'm going to save the file. And I'm going to restart. So now my bar is at the bottom. Here's my clock. Here's the icon that takes you through the different styles of tiling. And here's my workspaces here. And workspace number 3 is called web. Now let's go down and make some more changes. Let's do a search for my text clock. There it is. So what you want to do is go in between these brackets. And we want to type in. And let's see if this works. Let's save the file. Let's restart. So there we have it. So now we changed the format of the clock. So it's Saturday, November 18th, 2023. Has the time is PM rather than 24-hour. And I put seconds in there. Now the thing is that you can play with this. This is really hard to teach and it took me a while to figure out how to use it. So you can play with this and you can do some searches in Google on how to use this. Particularly, I don't like this type of way of configuring the clock. I think it's hard to use. But this is the format that I use. And you can play around with this if you want and you can change it. And I'll leave it up to you to do some research about that. Now, this icon, in my configuration file, I got rid of this icon because I'm only using one mode of tiling. I deactivated all the tiling in that list up above. So I only suggest getting rid of this icon if you're only using one mode of tiling like I do. If you're using more than one mode, I would keep the icon there. And the way you get rid of it is line 218. So I'm just going to go to the beginning and deactivate the line. So now the line is deactivated. Let's save the file. And you always have to save the file and restart. So let's restart. And now it's gone. So now what I'm going to do is let's get out of here. And let's ls it. Now there's themes. So let's go into theme. Vim theme. And what I'm going to do is go right down to here and theme font. Oops. I'm going to change the theme font to, let's try this. I'm going to make it bold. Let's save it. Okay, so what you want to do is, let's just make that a bit larger. Let's go into, let's just ls it again. And let's go into RC Lua. Vim RC Lua. And we have to turn this off. Oops. We have to deactivate this line. Line 48. And we have to make another line. Let's take those out so it's activated. Let's type in beautiful and bracket. And let's save it. Let's just bring it down there. So it should be like that. So after we change the font in the theme file, we have to go back here and we have to deactivate this line, number 48. And we have to type in this line at line 49. So we are directing to do the theme from our file that we're making in our home directory. So let's save the file and let's restart. There we go. So now we have large print. And let's go to another workspace. There we are. There's our, that's readable. So in order to put some fast keys in there, we're going to go down to 238. I think it was line 238. Let's jump. Here we are. We're going to go above my menu bar. And we're going to leave a space. Let's leave some spaces. What we're going to do is type in. Let's save it. Let's refresh it. And let's see if it worked. So let's do mod key F. And it worked. So now I'm going to make another one. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change this to, oops, PC Man FM. And I'm going to change this to, now in my configuration file, I have mod key control P to open PC Man FM. So I'm going to change this to, oops, comma, control with a capital C, comma, change this to a P, change this to PC Man FM, change this to PC Man FM. Let's save it. Let's go to another workspace. Let's refresh it. And let's go to another workspace. And let's do, so it's control mod key P. There we are. It works. So that's how you put fast keys in there. And one more thing I'm going to show you, and that's how to manually change the wallpaper. Now you can download and install an app called Nitrogen, and there's another one as well. I can't remember the name now, but I think there's several wallpaper apps that you can install. So you can download and install Nitrogen and use it, or you can just manually do the wallpaper. So what I'm going to do is, let's go back to one. I'm finished with this configuration file. Let's get out of there. Now let's go into themes. And before I do that, let's do this. I downloaded some wallpapers in here. So I have, well, for instance, I have this wallpaper called Dark Cyan Pink. So cd into .config. Awesome. ls it again. I'm going to go into theme Lua. Vim theme Lua. And I'm going to go down to where the wallpapers are. Right here. See this? So I'm going to deactivate that line, comment it out. And you know what? I'm just going to make some space here. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to type in, oops, theme wallpaper equals tilde slash dark cyan dot, oops, period, ping. Just like that. Now you got to make sure. Now, if you have your wallpapers in a wallpaper folder, then you're going to have to do it like this. Oops. Wallpaper. Right? Or if your folder is plural for wallpapers, then you got to make sure your S is in there. So you have to direct it to where your wallpapers are. So let's just there, because I don't have that in a wallpaper folder. I just have it in my home directory. So now I'm going to save the file. I'm going to get out of there, and I'm going to actually close right down. Let's clear the screen. Let's do StartX. There we are. I changed the wallpaper manually without using a wallpaper app. So just a few more things before I close off the video. Number one, let's say you don't like this, US. This is just referring to the key map that I'm using in this system. and I don't need it to be there. If you like it, you can leave it. If you don't like it, you could do this. From the top here, you could just type in 216 and jump down to it. And right here on line 216, we are going to comment this out. Okay, so let's just do 2 dashes. Let's save it. Let's do a restart. And here we are, it's gone. See that? Now, let's go to the bottom. I'm going to go to the very bottom of this configuration file, and I'm going to create some new things here. And I knew my cat was going to come in. This is the funny thing. This is my cat, Hope. She can be anywhere in our house, and as soon as she hears me talking, she comes to sit in front of the camera. So I'm just going to let her sit here while I finish this video. So let's say you want some type of service to automatically start when you boot into your awesome window manager. So what I'm going to do is put it at the bottom here, and I'm going to put 2 in just as an example. So because this is a virtual machine, I want to make sure that when I boot into this, my awesome always starts with a certain resolution. Let's type in auto. Let's just call it auto start apps. Okay. Then I'm going to go down a bit just to leave some space, and type in awful spawn with shell. Oops. xrandr dash s 1360 by 768. Put the bracket in. So whenever I log into my awesome window manager, it's going to open up with this resolution. Now there's another thing I want to put in. I always want my number locks to be turned on my side number locks. Now of course you have to make sure numlock is installed, and it will be if you installed my configuration files. If not, well, let's just open up a terminal. For numlock, you would do sudo pacman s num lock x, and you install that. Now I already have it installed, so I'm not going to reinstall it again. So if it was Debian, you would do sudo apt install num lock x, and notice it's without the b. So it's not, there's no b in number, it's num lock x. Okay, terminal here, and I'm going to type in, and actually what you could do is, just to make it easy, let's just copy it. Let's leave a space. Let's put it in. And let's just go here, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to type in num lock. Whoops, and I put the b in there. I didn't. Just told you shouldn't have a b in there. So it's like that. So now when I log into my awesome window manager, my number lock will automatically be turned on. So whatever service you want to turn on, you're just going to do that. But you have to know the command that will turn on the service in the terminal. If it turns on the service in the terminal, you're going to put it in here just like that. In this video, I showed you how to copy the default awesome window managers into your home directory, and how to start changing them and configuring them on your own. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.